Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. My name is Miroslava, and I'm here with Lorena today.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we're going to be talking about Flight by Sherman Alexie. So, getting right into it, we're going to do a quick analysis of the novel, but really, we're just kind of going to be sharing our likes and dislikes in a quick discussion. So, first of all, we want to talk about the likings of the book. Personally, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a really good young adult book in the sense that it talks about a teenager dealing with something as basic as acne, but then also at the same time it deals with something as elaborate as him being in foster care and him running away from multiple homes, and it dabbles into him getting into some trouble. So I thought it was relatable in the sense of, again, something as basic as acne, and but it also dove into some harsher kind of topics that young adults might be able to relate to as well. So Lorena, what did you like about the book?
Like you said, I really saw the relatability in a sense where I feel like a lot of teenagers struggle from the simplistic issues of acne, obviously, but also the harsher topics. But I think that something that captivated me the most about the novel was the coming of age story and experience that you receive out of reading the book. Because you kind of start with the teenager, obviously. He doesn't have the best upbringing, and he feels like an outsider because he doesn't connect with a lot of people. But he's also at the same time struggling with his identity for the same reason. So when he gets the opportunity, to step into someone else's shoes, he comes to the realization that everyone struggles with their own problems in life. And at the end of the day, those problems don't really have to define or reflect the kind of person that you're going to be. Because I feel that everyone has the opportunity to choose the kind of person that they want to be in life. So I definitely feel like that's a very good story in a sense where people who are struggling with those issues can kind of see this book as the light out of the tunnel, that you could be in a current negative state in your life, but like I said, there will always be that
change from that
positive light.
Okay, great. So something that I didn't like about the book was that it was also it was almost movie-like in the sense that it moved very quickly. So we know that the book kind of bases itself on this teen, like we were talking about earlier, on Zitz. And he falls into this parallel world where he steps into the lives of different characters, and we can almost see, or personally I can almost see, kind of every time a new character is introduced, I almost see a transition in a movie from scene to scene, where it just moves very quickly, but also it's almost predictable as well. I think it's just based on the fast-paced kind of plot line that it has, but I think that the fast pace is also used in a great way in the sense that it kind of keeps the readers engaged, and you're not confused as to how the story's moving along, but it also keeps you interested and just wanting to see how the novel turns out. So what's something that you didn't like about this book?
I feel like I didn't mind the fast-pacedness of the novel, just because, like you said, it did keep people on their toes in a sense where he was living through one experience and then he transitions on to another experience. But I feel that fast-pacedness didn't make the novel dry. For sure.
I agree.
And I don't know if it was because it was a different character he was diving into, but I felt that it was interesting seeing the different perspectives he would get. And I feel like if it had less storyline, he wouldn't have grasped the person, a perspective in his own life. So that's basically what I thought about that. that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So for the ending, I appreciate the ending actually. So the whole novel wants to take us along this journey with Zitz, and it wants to kind of show us how sometimes teenagers struggle with finding themselves and kind of finding their place in the world in the sense of who they are and maybe what kind of person they want to be and what kind of life choices they want to make. So I think all the events leading up to the end, they help Zitz find who he is, and he gets to see all these different perspectives that allow him to find himself as an individual. And I can really appreciate how the ending kind of came about, only because at the beginning he kind of reiterates quite a bit that his name doesn't matter and he just wants to be addressed as Zitz because the biggest issue in his life is acne, so that's how he would be okay with being addressed. But I think the fact that he actually asks his new mother to address him by his first name, Michael, I think that's very important, and it just kind of shows in more of a kind of obvious way that he's found himself and he kind of is comfortable with himself now that he's kind of journeyed through this kind of exposing experience. Sure. So what were your thoughts on the ending?
I feel like I couldn't agree with you more, in a sense where I also thought that when he reveals his real name to his stepmother Mary, he says his name, but I feel like this is his kind of position in the book where he finally finds himself. He knows who he is, although he likes to be called Zitz. It is important also that it's empowering in a sense where if he calls himself that, words won't hurt him.
Sure.
But when he transitioned on to Michael, I feel like this is when he truly finds out who he really is in the book. So I thought that was really an impactful ending, and it kind of wraps up the book.
Yeah. I thought it ended it quite perfectly, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing your thoughts with me today, and thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.